Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in North Carolina. And today I'm going to redeem myself by photographing a hummingbird in this pollinator garden. This will be my third time trying to do it. So come along and enjoy this adventure. Yes, I'm back at the same pollinator garden I have failed twice to photograph a hummingbird at. Now here in North Carolina, we only have the ruby-throated hummingbirds this time of year. It is the beginning of August. Now, if I'm going to photograph a hummingbird, now's the time to do it, because this is when I'll have the maximum number of hummingbirds that I will have during this year here. Now, considering the fact that this is a really tough year, hummingbird numbers are way down. We've had extreme heat all summer long here, and that's negatively affected the reproduction capability of this bird here. Now, usually in here in North Carolina, ruby-throated hummingbirds have 2 nests, but we have seen a huge reduction in the number of these birds here. So I'm really not optimistic about seeing a lot of hummingbirds. I'm really hoping I see one, but I really do believe I'll get to photograph it. Now, I'm probably not going to get that classic hovering sign of a hummingbird, because this time of year they're hunting insects. They're trying to build up fat for the migration. Now, hummingbirds here in North Carolina the adults start migrating about the end of August, beginning of September, and by the middle of September, all the ruby-throated hummingbirds are gone, and by September 30th, we might get some rufous hummingbirds that come down. They get lost in the migration from Alaska, but I'm focusing here on the ruby-throated. I'm going to stay here at this pollinator garden and see what I can have. Now, this is a great time for me to be photographing them. This field here has a lot of insects, and this is the time of year when the ruby-throated hummingbird really focuses on building up fat for the migration. Now, that means I probably will not get that classic hovering sound or the hovering stance over a flower or something like that. I'll probably get a bird sitting on a branch or something like that. But with that being said, I really feel pretty positive about being out here and being able to photograph this bird. That call right behind me is the fish crow. Here in North Carolina, we have 2 species of crow, the American crow and the fish crow. And for all intents and purposes, there are tiny little differences between these 2 birds. They both look the same for the most part. Unless the 2 birds are standing next to each other, it is very difficult to tell which one is a fish crow and which one is an American crow. But one tell is that the fish crow has a distinct call compared to the American crow. And that's how most birders identify this species of birds. And I just find it interesting because this is another bird that I didn't know existed. I thought they were all American crows and maybe one of them had a coal or something like that. But I just find this kind of stuff fascinating. So that's my little tirade for today. The American fish crow. Not the American fish crow, it's the fish crow. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw some movement, and it was a green heron. Now, green herons are a secretive bird. They are a much smaller bird than the great blue heron, for example. They lead a much secretive life. Where the great blue heron and other herons will stand in the middle of a pond hunting for food, the green heron will stay in bushes that go over the water and try to hunt for fish that way here. They're extremely secretive. As a matter of fact, I think it's been 2 or 3 years since I photographed a green heron, so this is very rare for me to get a chance to photograph them. And I was just looking at my eBird list, and I usually see 2 or 3 a year, so it is very uncommon for me to get a photograph of a green heron. So if these photos are any good, here they are. I just photographed the American goldfinch. This is a fairly common bird here in North Carolina. Now here in North Carolina we have two populations of goldfinch. We have resident goldfinch that spend a year here. And we also have migratory birds that come to North Carolina in the wintertime to winter here. Technically we have more goldfinch here in the wintertime than we do in the summertime, but it's still a fairly common bird. This is thought of a bird of feeders. They're very easily attracted to feeders. As a matter of fact, you can buy thistle feeders just to feed them. But this bird here has been in this field taking advantage of the insects and the seeds that are produced in this field here. So this is an incredible resource for them. You see them a lot when you're out here photographing, but they can be difficult to photograph because they don't like human beings and they tend to fly away when they see them. But I was able to get a shot of this, so if these photos are any good, here they are. I saw a hummingbird on the west side of this pollinator garden, so I had to run all the way around it. And as I was coming around the edge here, I flushed up a whole flock of goldfinches, and I believe that scared away the hummingbird. So that is extremely frustrating for me. This will be my third attempt to photograph it, and as I'm speaking to you, it's starting to rain. And I looked on the weather app, and it looks like we're going to get some major rain this morning. So I don't think I'm going to be able to stay out here and photograph any birds here. So I'm going to end the video here. If you got anything out of it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel because that really helps in the YouTube world. Become a Patreon supporter. Your support allows us to keep doing this. My name is Sean Leahy, and thank you for watching.